Hello and welcome to None of Your Business, the podcast that takes a lighthearted look at life outside of work. My name is Nick Pearce, and joining me today is one of the co-founders of a unicorn business in Linktree, Anthony Zaccaria. We're in this beautiful bookstore, Ramona Bookstore, which is based in Westgarth, which Anthony and his wife Katie opened as they were having their third child, which is pretty insane. But we talk about that. We focus on him transitioning into a different role and capacity within Linktree and taking a more hands-on role at home with his kids like myself and some of the challenges involved in that. Traveling with kids, his love of music, as well as going on an ice cream short course on a family holiday, which didn't go down too well. Hope you enjoyed the episode.
So where's the office, back at Division? In the office, baby.
None of your business. None of your business. None of your business. None of your business.
Hello and welcome back to None of Your Business. Joining me today is a very special guest. He's a great mate and he's one of the founders of probably one of our most well-known tech brands, companies in Australia and maybe on a global level as well. Very cool. Just make sure I get it right. I'm going to read a little bit of context around the founding story of Linktree. Founded in 2016 in Melbourne by brothers Alex Zaccaria and Anthony Zaccaria, who's with us right now, and Nick Humphreys. Originated as a quick fix for their digital agency bolsters frustration with single link limits.
So yeah, we had a digital marketing agency that at the time mostly serviced music industry clients, so record labels, music festivals, artists, management companies.
Amazing. Well, let's get to the juicy stuff here because it says that you guys took 6 hours for the first version or iteration of Linktree, which is incredible to think about how much it's grown. And Alicia Keys signed up, which led to 3,000 users overnight.
Yep.
Remarkable. But this is where it gets really juicy. You hit unicorn status. I don't even know what that means, but I'm wanting you to tell me if that's okay. In 2022, with a $152 million funding round, which valued it at $1.7 billion, you now serve over 80 million users globally, which is incredible, including creators and brands with features for payments, QR codes, and analytics. So that is bloody remarkable. But we are in a humble bookstore here in Westgarth, and I'm kind of more interested in that, if that's okay, Ant, because the rule of thumb with the podcast is we don't talk about work. So as much as they are astonishing accomplishments, we will address what is unicorn status, if you don't mind me asking.
It's a company valued over $1 billion.
Okay, amazing. Thank you for that. For our listeners at home that might not have that information like myself, we are now richer and wealthier with knowledge. So I guess, we're in this beautiful bookstore and why are we here?
So this is Ramona Books, which is a bookstore that my wife runs, my wife's short store, but I guess we both set it up about 18 months ago. And couple of reasons. Firstly, Katie, mad book reader.
Yep. I
don't know how many books she reads, just always reading. And has always talked about wanting a bookshop at some point in her life, ever since she was a little girl and she would talk about that with her dad.
Yeah. And
so every now and then would pop up. We'd always walk past the shops. This is our local shopping strip.
Yep.
We live down the road and there's a bookstore here that closed down.
Yep.
And Katie was like, shit, what do you think? Should we take this over? And meanwhile, she's 6 months pregnant with our third boy.
That's right.
And something she's always wanted to do. And we're like, stuff it. Let's give it a go. I've taken a bit of a step back on the Linktree side.
Yep.
So I had a bit of time at my sleeve. I was like, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
It was always something Katie wanted to do. And it was a really juicy project for me to help lean in on. And for Katie, it was very much like she's the curator. She knows the books inside out. For me, it was helping just get the business side of things set up. And we just came in, took over the lease, started a whole new thing, new brand, new entity, new supplier arrangements, and opened in about 4 or 5 weeks. And the other time, people were like, you can't open a bookstore in 4 weeks. You're crazy. What are you talking about? You just can't do that.
And have a third child.
And like, why not? We're used to, and Katie previously was working in tech. I'm like, why not? In tech, you do things in 4 hours, like 4 minutes these days with AI. So why can't we open in 4 weeks? And we did. It wasn't looking like this. It was way, way more shabby at the time. It was a very quick fit out. But then sort of over that next 6 months, it got through the Christmas rush, had the baby in Feb, and then we worked on getting this shop fit out the way it is now, which
It looks amazing. It has a real soul. I got to say, I remember coming in here sort of pre-post project. It still had that essence. But what were some of the juicy projects you found yourself doing? I guess coming again from this sort of like other world of tech, et cetera, as you say, and optimization and efficiency to, you know, a physical manifestation of, as you say, your wife's passion. And I really admire Katie in the sense that there's I think a funny quote I've heard before around, you know, a person who reads leads 1,000 lives. So there's, you know, she is such a wealth of knowledge and so savvy, and you know she's just so on the money, and I love it. But no, one of the things I love, you know, from Katie and what she's done with this store is these handwritten notes. I think it's really special and adds this touch and this personalization, which is just beautiful. But
a lot of customers comment on that, and that helps them choose a book. And one of the things she loves to do when people are in here is it's not like what book are you into. It's like, how are you feeling at the moment? What did you read last? How did that make you feel? So kind of get a sense of where people are at, and then directing them towards a book that way, as opposed to just like, oh, I like fiction books. Okay, well, here's the fiction section. Have a look. It's more like, you know, you might have just gone through a breakup or had some celebration and you want something fun, whatever it is. And so we kind of go that direction. Yeah, and with that, the you know, lives 1,000 lives thing. Katie, you know, she's a bit more of an introvert compared to me. I'll ramble a bunch of crap and get to a point at some point. And then, you know, when Katie says something, it's just very poignant, but there's like a lot of different knowledge points there from, you know, 1,000 lives she's lived.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think probably a few learnings from the process. Where do we start? One, the book industry itself is a bit backwards.
Yep.
And so it's, you know, pretty antiquated in how it does things. The POS system that a lot of people use, you know, I don't mind saying this out loud. It looks like something from Microsoft Access in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's not modern whatsoever. And so just trying to do simple things like pull reports, or even have an API to build your own website and stuff, it's just like doesn't exist. And so that's been a challenge for me, coming from everything which is, you know, modern day tools to why does this still feel like the 90s?
Yeah.
So working around that and figuring out a solve and going through different paths of trying to find a solution, which we haven't got there yet, but what we've got does the job.
Yep.
The other part is, I think, like managing a fit out. At the time, you know, we just had the baby.
Yeah.
So I was helping lean in on getting this fit out alongside our designer, and just, you know, it was a much bigger undertaking than we thought.
Yeah.
I guess trying to stick to a budget, you know, that this is the bookstore, and there's books a very low margin. And so constant trade-offs with like a design intent and design vision that Katie would have wanted, or our designer thought about, which, you know, our designer's done an amazing job helping bring this to life.
Yeah.
But I'd always come back to be like, so it might have been some fitting or something like, you know how many books we need to sell to pay for that? We're not doing it.
Yeah, per square meter. Yeah,
It's like if people look in the books, they're not looking up there. And so I'd always get said, what do you know?
Yeah.
But it was a good balance. I think also before we even opened it, you know, I was quite very practical in the sense of, all right, let's do a bit of a forecast on this. Can we actually run this as a business or not?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is really hard. No matter which way I cut it, I'm like, how do you make money out of this thing?
Yeah. How do you?
And pay a salary and like all this sort of stuff. And I had to reframe the thinking in that, you know, it's not just, it's like take off my kind of business hat of like growing a really big business.
Yep.
And it was like, hang on, this is a lifestyle business, kind of a lifestyle business, but it's about community, it's passion led, it's purpose led. And not everything has to be this huge business that does millions and millions of revenue. It's like, this can just be a spot that serves the community and as a third space for community, holds events, all this sort of stuff, which is really what it's about. And you kind of see the community coming around since opening it. Like that whole first month, I helped work here the first month to get the hang of it, and then that's it. I'm not, you know, someone comes and asks me for a recommendation. I'm on AI like, somebody likes X, what's a Y recommendation? Oh, here, come to this section.
Yeah, that's practical.
So, right. But it's a lot of the, you know, neighborhood is like, thank you for keeping this bookstore running, you know, and the community's really rallied around it. The events Katie does, book clubs, that sort of stuff, always really busy. So
Yeah.
I think that was just really a good learning and just like, I guess, grounding in that it's not all about having to have a huge business all the time. It's literally, it can just serve the community. It can make a bit of money. You can pay the staff and pay your suppliers and just exist.
Yeah, exist.
Nikki, our co-founder at Linktree, often talks about like, you know, whenever it leaves Linktree, whenever that is done, in whatever sense, he's like, I just want to have like something small, like a vintage clothes shop for little kids, or like a little bar that serves toasted sandwich. Just like, you know, I just want cozy capitalism, like your bookstore.
It's a great sentiment.
So I like that.
Yeah. I think I listened to a podcast recently, and I think we spoke about it previously, like this idea that even, as you say, community building and people that come into these spaces that not necessarily actually are going to be a consumer, but just for them it is like a space to engage, or maybe, you know, there's this like loneliness epidemic that, you know, is a real thing, right? And just a place to come in and get that daily fix of a smile or an acknowledgement and I think that's a beautiful thing. You create this and you curate this environment that is warm and welcoming, and as you say, it serves many a purpose and not just sort of financial and material. I'm also curious about like the way the back end functions with this sort of contra deal in terms of you essentially like get books that you have for a finite period, and you can obviously try and churn or burn through, and you have the option to return. So is that part of the industry that you have to try and really nail to be optimized?
Yeah, it's one of the learnings when opening. A lot of the industry works on, most of the time, both suppliers work on a sale or return basis. So you pay for the books when they come in, and then you can return them for a credit within a certain period of time. You've got to hold them at least for a few months. Can't remember what it is exactly, maybe 4. And then up to maybe 12 months, if they're still sitting on the shelves and haven't sold, you can return them to the supplier for a credit. Which is essentially with how like keeps you going. Yeah. Because otherwise, if you're just stacking books, you might order 50 thinking it's going to be huge, and you sell one, you're stuck with the other 49, and you do that multiple times a year. There's literally hundreds of books being released every week. It's like the amount of possible books you could stock is, you know, warehouses, right? So you can imagine people are going to have more books in the back than they will out the front if that wasn't available. Which is super interesting and it makes a lot of sense.
I guess like going from like practical to sort of poetic in a way. I'll give you an example sort of on my end. Like, has there been a text or a medium, whether it's actually a book or a film or whatnot, that's been really influential for you? Like I think about books for myself, and like I'm not a big reader like Katie. My mum certainly has been. But I remember like at this time in my life, so I was really struggling with my mental health, and I was actually sitting in a child psychiatrist office waiting for my first appointment. And for some reason I'd been given like the Hunger Games book, which is pretty rare in terms of like a comfort ride. So like children killing each other, like kind of, you know, but it's really strange. It's become this like piece of text or this medium for me that brings me, I don't know, like this, it's like essentially like this nostalgia piece, and there is a comfort and warmth to it, which is bizarre to say, but it was at that time in my life. And I remember my psychiatrist opened the door, and he was this like really tall African man who wore these like really elaborate like white suits and shoes, and I thought he was like an incarnation of God or something, right? So it also brings back this memory, this time where I was really struggling, but I got help. And I'm not relating that to like the text whatsoever, but just it's funny, like throughout my life now, it's like a series that I'm really fond of. I love the films, and once I watch one of them, I just have to watch them all the way through, and it's almost like paying homage to this time in my life. So I don't know if there's been like whether it's even like an album or there has been a book or a film or something that's sort of at a time in your life that you sort of remember and recall fondly because of, you know, those things that it brought you.
Yeah, probably not a book.
Yeah, that's fine. Probably blasphemy to your wife. That's okay.
Don't unlike so this. So, from side note on this, this is good. I didn't read I don't read I read a lot more now, but when Katie and I first met, I wouldn't read a lot. I just like an idiot would work in the evenings while she was reading. And I'd use the time like I could go a couple hours before bed, I'll do work. Yes. Now it's a little bit different, but she confessed to me a few months back that she's like, "Oh, it's good to see you reading more." You know, when we first met, because you didn't read a lot, I just thought you were kind of dyslexic or something, or like you were just like a bit of a weirdo. You didn't read. I know that she couldn't compute that somebody didn't love reading as much as her.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm really glad that you're not. You actually can read. I just thought you couldn't.
Yes, right.
So that was nice and insulting.
You're like, I can read menus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I would say probably it'd be go back to music because we grew up in a music household. Mum and dad, so I had small businesses growing up. Mum and dad ran a music shop, musical instruments.
Yep.
So that moved around a bit, but we kind of, I guess, grew up around musical instruments.
Did you play one?
Played piano, then bass. I stuck with bass for quite a while.
Sup at the best, man.
That's right. You know it.
Awesome.
And which was awesome, which was actually great just to be around music all the time. School holidays was always spent like in the music shop helping out.
Yeah.
Mum and dad then got into wholesale distribution of musical instruments. And so same thing there. We'd spend a lot of time helping there. Like, you know, back in the day before email, we would be stuffing envelopes with like newsletters to go out to customers on the mailing list and whatever it was. And so it's actually a nice parallel here that our three boys, you know, kind of love coming into mummy's shop and just like pulling all the kids' books off and growing up around it, which is a nice little parallel. But so we be music. We always grew up around music, and my older brother, he's about 7 years older than me, was massively into Prince, and so that fed down into me and then my other two siblings as well.
Yep.
And it'd just be all his records. It was a combination of like Prince was always being played around the house. And then my brother got me my first CD and he bought me Pearl Jam's 10 album.
Epic.
And so that would have been when I was 8 or 9, maybe 10.
Yeah.
And so that formed the kind of like getting right into grunge and alternative music.
Yeah.
But then because I was playing bass, I was right into all this 60s and 70s funk music. And Prince was sort of a big part of that, obviously being influenced by George Clinton and James Brown and Sly Stone and that sort of thing. So, I would say it's probably like brother and even mum's younger brother, my uncle, also massively into Prince, kind of always getting into that. And so when Prince toured, we would go to all the shows, as many as possible. We would, all the Melbourne shows, Sydney shows. We got into all the after shows. He did play till like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Wow.
It'd just be like a little tour of Prince, which was epic fun.
What a colourful childhood. For reference, my first album I think was like the Changy single, One Call Away, which was a real beat, fat beat back in the day. I think I was influenced by the music video more than anything, but that's really special. And I guess with the instruments, so I'm kind of curious to. I feel like maybe part of sort of your journey has been like figuring out how things work, right? Like especially like this tech background. So do you feel like that sort of, you know, learning these instruments, et cetera, also fed through to sort of Linktree and kind of the back end and sort of tinkering and toying and finding the right note, sort of pardon the pun? Was that a part of it as well?
Yeah, I think it was probably a bit of that and a bit of experimentation and just curiosity on, well, what if we just try this? So I was working in digital media for a while in Sydney, left that, got into managing bands. Alex and I were managing artists for a few years.
Awesome.
And never managed artists before. I was like, I feel like I might be good at taking something from really small to something a bit bigger than what they were.
Yeah.
And we got into managing bands, and that was like a really awesome journey. And it mixed like interest in business with passion for music. I realized I didn't really want to be on the stage playing music, but I preferred to be behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And then from that, we got into running the agency, which was all clients in the music space.
Yeah.
And it wasn't we set out to do an agency. It was just like, oh, there's a bit of an interesting gap here around digital marketing in the music space that no one's really filling. Let's just see what happens. And that grew really quickly. And then Linktree kind of came of that as well.
Yeah.
So I think, the music background combined with the music background, like experimentation in music that and improvisation that you learn to do when you're learning music.
Yeah.
Along with then, I guess, growing up around family business probably took on that path.
And super creative as well, right? Like, I guess to sort of change tact a little bit, like sort of, again, we sort of tried to make a point of not talking about work per se. And you've sort of undergone quite a transition sort of more recently in the last couple of years. And I guess your role has shifted in the organisation. You've taken up a different role with Side Stage Ventures. You're obviously helping out here. And you're also doing a lot more sort of, I guess, like hands-on parenting at quite a critical time in sort of your children's development. So I guess I'm keen to sort of like litigate going about that and sort of how you found it and whether it's, you know, being what you thought it was going to be and all of that. So what kind of led you to make the decision to sort of, you know, take a different route? And, you know, I imagine like for me, it's been really significant, that adjustment from my identity, like with Homie and that being so tethered and people saying like, you know, what do you do for work? You know, it's one of those common questions you're always asked.
But run and hide.
Yeah. I know, absolutely. It's like nice. I can say, oh, I've got a podcast and I work, but I enjoy it. But you know, now it's like what I'm most interested in, right, is like, what do you do for you? Like that's what this whole project is about. So I just want to sort of like touch on that and speak to you about it, because I feel like we have sort of had some similar experience more recently. So what was it like to kind of go from this world? And again, I can't compare because Linktree is a unicorn business versus Homie, but you know, definitely gave us, you know, a lot of fulfillment and joy and purpose. Making that shift, like what led to that, and how have you navigated that shift?
Yes. So the shift probably came about time when the business was going through rapid change, and it just felt like a bit of three founders, a bit of a moment to step back, because describe it as that Venn diagram of what the business needs now and what I feel you're good at and enjoy doing, starting to move a little bit further apart.
Yep.
And so it was nothing in the bad sense. It was more just felt like maybe I'm not getting as much out of it, and also probably not giving as much to it as the business requires at this point in time. As we're also scaling and hiring a lot more execs in the US. And it's sort of, I probably felt rightly or wrongly that with where the business is at, these people probably got a better grasp of what it needs now at this stage.
Yep.
And Alex, brother's still there, CEO, and Nick, the co-founder.
Yep.
And I'm still on the board. So it was just like day-to-day operations, a step back. There's still bits and pieces I get involved in, but from a like managing team, managing projects, you know, it just felt a bit of about time to maybe get back, you know, it's starting to get in the way. I'm like, oh yeah, shit, I don't need to get involved in that. I'm just getting in the way. Like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
well, it takes like, you know, like a lot of introspection to be able to identify that and realize where you're best placed. And maybe that's not, as you say, on the tools as much as you previously were. So like that's like a really strong quality.
it was definitely weird. First before, you know, I spoke to a few other founders that did a similar thing.
Yeah.
From other tech companies here and in Australia and in the US, where it was like, you know, just trying to rationalize it actually being quite normal. In my head, I guess growing up in a family business, you know, mum and dad worked for themselves for a long time. Yeah. And so it was like, oh, well, you just start a business, you just keep running your business. You don't leave your business.
Yeah.
Like what? And I had to speak to some other founders where, particularly when there has been multiple founders, not just a solo one, but when there's been 3 or 4 or 5, I kind of realized as the business matured, often 1 or 2 of them would sort of peel back and be, you know, 1 or 2 left.
Yep.
For whatever reason, the business outgrew them and their passion or skill set or desire or whatever it is. So once I kind of got comfortable with like, oh, it's actually quite normal, then it felt a bit easier, but still a massive adjustment.
Yep.
Like identity, ego.
Yeah.
And I mean ego in the like identity sense, not in the like bravado sense.
No, it's like an ego death, like a friend who like sort of exited football and was like, you have to have like an ego death, right? Where it's like a reinvention, reincarnation. So, it's more than reasonable.
Yeah. And I reckon I still haven't figured it out completely. Yep. But even when we transitioned from the agency to Linktree, that was a identity shift as well.
Yeah.
Because it goes from having clients, agency clients, to then tech on a different scale, like millions of users, but it's a little bit faceless in terms of who your users are.
Yep.
And so the interactions and the dynamic is just different. So it's like it was just a bit of a shift there. But then stepping back and be like, oh, if I'm not Anthony from Linktree or Anthony from Bolster from 5-6 years earlier, you know, agency or whatever, it's like, who am I?
Yeah. Well, who are you?
You know, and people are like, well, you're not your work. I'm like, yes, I am. if I'm not, what am I? It's like when you've got two kids, like, oh yeah, of course, yeah.
No, I felt
there's
that
a
as well. Yeah.
mental hurdle just to like get over.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think like the first few weeks, because Linktree had so many still does have a new team in the US.
Yeah.
So every morning you'd be like open your phone or laptop, check Slack and emails, like what's going on overnight. And so then as I started peeling back, I'd rush down 7 a.m., open laptop, crickets. I'm like,
Yeah.
hello?
Yeah.
Anybody need me?
Yeah.
Which was kind of a nice feeling and also a weird
It
untethering.
is. You're right. It's both. Yeah. I think it can be both, like sort of, as you say, like liberating, but then also there is this like challenge. I only recently like left the Slack channel at home. I've been out of it for 2 years,
Big
but I used to
move.
like just like keep the eyes over things. And
That's
they
an ego
knew
death.
big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I know it's been a positive thing to like have that disconnect. But it's like I remember we also had another psychiatrist who was on our board, and she worked in sort of like youth justice. And one of the things she always identified was this idea around like knowing and belonging and mattering. She's like, we all want to be known and we all want to matter. And when you, as you say, strip away sort of what is such a big part of your identity with Linktree and work and home, you've been my sort of, example. You've got your kids and you don't get that affirmation as much. You get it in different ways. You see growth in different ways, but they don't say, hey, Dad, you're doing an awesome job at being a dad and, love your work and here's just sort of your performance review.
Long game.
Yeah,
you don't get the
game.
dopamine hits of
No,
a new
no.
customer, a new user, or whatever.
So that's a big part of it. So I really struggle with that. But then I guess what has it enabled you to do, having kind of this newfound capacity? Like there's the things that you're not able to do anymore, but what has it unlocked for you and what have you learned about yourself during this time?
It's definitely allowed. So it's allowed me to explore some other projects. So do a bit more work with Side Stage Ventures, which is a VC fund that both Alex and I are part of. And obviously way more time with the kids. And so way more hands-on, obviously helping get this set up, just being able to take on certain things. I think, when was it? The kids are probably 3-ish when it sort of started peeling back. So pretty critical time. We started seeing some developmental concerns in the boys. So they're now 5.5-year-old twins. They just started primary school, but
a big adjustment again.
One we found out recently is autistic, and we're just seeing certain behaviors and traits. So we're just having to adapt our parenting style and make sure, especially parenting twins, is just such an interesting, challenging, competitive dynamic, which is amazing to see their bond. But it's can be equally fiery. And so, I mean, this is sort of just recently, in the last 3 months, we've flipped the whole parenting style to accommodate Augie because of how he's basically how his nervous system treats demands on him, and not demands like pick up your socks, like just the demand of being a kid of I need to go wee, I need to do just a
lot of stresses.
sensory overload for him. And we're like, okay, let's switch to just being real low demand and just see what happens. Let's not say come and eat your breakfast, go to the toilet, do this, do that. Like let's just guide and see what happens. And it's like massive shift because I'm like, right, we're going to get this done by this time. We're going to be at very militant, pragmatic, practical, and it's a big adjustment. She's like, okay, let's just chill and see what happens. And it's been a massive unlock just for his nervous system and how he gets on with the day.
Yeah. And what about you guys in terms of managing, that as well? I imagine
it's actually been way more chill for us because we're not getting all worked up that things aren't getting done. With 3 kids and 2 of us, the twins and then a baby, we're like, this is just chaos.
And a bookstore.
And so we're like, why don't we just switch it around?
Yeah.
And it seems to be a little easier, which has been nice. I think also having more time. I think it's also what I've probably realized is that working nonstop for myself for 15 odd years was probably just covering up, underlying issues around to health, both mental and physical health, right? Definitely never exercising, always be back pain, saw this, saw that, bad knees, bad back, but then also just chronically anxious.
Yeah.
And not in a...
that could be the name of my podcast, to be honest. It probably
Chronically
encapsulates myself. Yeah.
Let's get a hat. Let's get the merch.
I quite like that actually. That could be merch for the show,
But it's just underlying, but in a really functioning way. It was actually it actually probably fueled ambition and like, you know, but then once a lot of the work pressure was off, you're constantly like, got to get this done by this date, go.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what do I do with this feeling now? It's like, oh shit, so I'm exposed.
Yeah.
And so working through that has been really good as well. Just like, and one, just like exercising a shit ton more.
Yeah.
Having goals outside of work. So like training for a half marathon at the moment.
Amazing. Where is that going to be? Is that gonna
Sydney.
Be, oh, epic.
In a few
Yeah.
weeks. So just focusing on other things like that are a bit more health focused, mental and physical health focused.
Yeah.
And having the time to do it.
Yeah.
And making it. And Katie and I kind of very much like, this is our number one priority. We don't want to see, you know, like we see generation above us that haven't been able to look after themselves and struggling to walk and knee reconstructions and all sorts.
Yeah.
And we won't want to be, we're going to be able to still travel and stuff when we're in our 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
And not be bound by whatever. So it's like, right, we need to sort this out from now. And so it's very much a priority for both of us. Katie does Pilates twice a week and it's a make sure she goes and vice versa. She's the same with me.
Non-negotiable.
Make sure you do the thing. Non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what's happening with the kids, like, because that's the first thing to sleep. Like, I don't have to do that thing.
For sure.
So, and probably just like a much more even dynamic at home, even though Katie won't say, like, she probably still carries a lot of the, you know, emotional weight of things and labor of the family and the kids and stuff.
Yeah.
I try and lean in where I can on that front.
Yeah. I think it's hard because it's so like privileged and fortunate to be able to be more active and present and engaged. And this is myself as well, your kids, you know, lives at this critical juncture in time as well. But sometimes like it's just really hard and it's boring and it's, you know what I mean? It's like, I think it can be both. Like it doesn't have to be this like, oh, it's the most amazing thing ever. Like, as you say, like the pros far away the cons, but it can be bloody challenging at times and there's always layers of complexity. So I think it can be both. It's like a bit of a yes and.
Yes.
Yeah. And I guess like.
I love, as much as I love hanging out with them, I love not hanging out with them.
Yeah, you need time for you. Absolutely.
Right?
There's like me time is so crucial.
What I also realized, and Kate and I've chatted about this a bit, I love getting out and about with them.
Yeah.
I struggle just being at home for too long.
Yeah. I'm the same. Cabin fever.
I get to the weekend, I'm like, what's our plan?
I'm the same. Bookends, morning, afternoon, need stuff. Yeah.
Like, what do you mean the plan? I'm like, it's a weekend. What are we doing? Where are we going?
Yeah.
Where are we off to?
Yeah.
Where are we eating? What are we exploring?
100%.
And it's like, well, it's the weekend. We can just be, can't we? Just be with the kids. Just
be.
See some Lego. Just let them guide us. See what happens. We'll go to the park eventually. Maybe we'll go for a coffee. But I'm like, what time are we doing that?
Yeah. I'm exactly the same. It's so funny.
It's like just having to be, learn how to try and be a little bit more without getting all antsy.
No.
And seem like no right or wrong in that, but just, it's just definite exploration of all that.
No, I heard like quite a helpful technique recently, this idea around like just like 10 minutes of concentrated, like, you know, within an hour, like each child, or it's kind of, you've got 3 as well, but like throughout the day, if you find these little like 10-minute bursts where you just go, okay, I'm super present and active, like that's such a good fix for them and for you as well. Because I'm the same. I find it harder to parent at home than when I'm out and about doing things. Like similarly, I like to get outside and roam and explore and just for me, it feels easier. I kind of struggle with kind of, as you say, sort of sitting and that sort of play-based stuff, which I know is really important as well. But similar to yourself, I'm probably less of a homebody in that sense. I want to know about sort of like the physical like benefits, as you say, sort of neglecting health, if you will, sort of throughout like these early days and probably being quite screen-based, right? And I don't know, like what's a conducive diet when you're sort of just like cramming and whatnot. But what are the benefits you've seen from sort of making that shift and stepping out of that world and what have you seen sort of like both, as you say, physically and mentally?
Oh, massive. Just like so much more energy. And once it becomes a habit, it just sticks, you know. I try and go to the gym before the kids wake up if I can. And I remember hearing people get up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym, like fucking psycho.
Yeah.
Who does that? Yeah. Now I'm one of those guys.
Yeah.
Become a meme of myself. Like turn 40, have kids.
Spider-Man pointing at yourself.
Turn 40, have kids, train for a marathon, all that.
Yeah.
But just the like energy it gives you, clarity, that motivation for the day once you've like had a workout, kind of just like softens any any feelings of being anxious or stress or whatever it is, you're just like, whatever, I can take this on.
Yeah.
And similarly with running, like, that runner's high that people talk about, which I think was bullshit. You get back like, oh yeah,
It's
I
huge.
feel great.
Yeah.
I also just the pain, like I used to have physio and massage all the time because of my lower back pain and stuff, and having like a minor disc issue. I'm like, oh great, I'm cooked. I'm 35 and I've already got a cooked back.
Yeah.
And just that side of things, like just learning more about the body and how like, you got to have time under tension for your muscles and all this stuff that that actually builds strength, and you kind of keep doing it as you get older or you lose it all. So it took me a good, 35, 40 years to learn it, but that has been a big shift. And also just notice if I go for a run or to the gym before the kids wake up, when I come home, I feel so much more in control of the day, and like I feel more present, and like I'm ready to just like be more present with them, be like the best dad I can, right?
Yes.
As opposed to maybe if I haven't been to the gym in 3 or 4 days and then they wake you up, your days and sort of start, the start is being controlled by them, which is most days with young kids. It is what it is. But it's just a little bit of like, I don't know, find a bit rattled by it.
Yeah.
Find a need to just like have exercise at least every couple of days just to kind of maintain this level of energy.
You've ticked it off. I think it's like the other thing for me as well. Like I'm quite task orientated, and having done that, it's like no matter what happens, whatever the day throws me, I've done that at least. And I found that to be really critical in that transition period, like prioritizing that. It's then become a case for me that like that hasn't just been enough, and like hence wanting to flex a creativity, sort of muscle. That's sort of been this endeavor to complement sort of the physical side. So, you obviously got the side stage ventures component happening as well. But I want to talk a bit about, this outdoors and travel and getting outside with the kids, because I think we can share some more stories. Like we were joking about our recent experiences sort of, heading overseas and not just like to Bali or Thailand or anything like that at all, but sort of to the other end of the world and traveling with young kids. And as you say, juggling many hats and all the rest of that. Like, have you got any advice or any insights or learnings from doing it? The first one could be just don't do it, full stop. But obviously you have to go because Katie's got family in London, and similar, I've been going with Danny with her work, but it's a bloody long way, and regulating children on flights and yourselves is hard work.
We went to London over Christmas first time with 3 kids.
Yep.
And the flight was the easy part. It was the being in London in winter.
Yes.
With the twins and a 10-month-old, and it was just hard work. It was like, it just felt, and like even a week in, one of our boys is like, when are we going home? Really, dude?
Yeah.
So we'd been previously to visit during the UK summer. Mm-hmm. Boys a little younger, and that was fine. Yep. For the most part.
Yep.
They're excited by the trains and the London buses and stuff. But yeah, I think in the winter, you got daylight for maybe 7 or 8 hours a day there.
Yeah.
It's 1 degree. It just wasn't a vibe.
Yeah.
So hot tip, don't go. Don't go
adjust expectations. Is that,
unless you have to, or the kids are a bit old and they can deal with it.
Yeah. Any transit or like travel hacks or tips you can suggest? Like I've got a couple up my sleeve. Like we would have these little kind of like treats that we'd bring out, sort of like a K-Zone magazine, or like, a bit of plastic fantastic, which is not great for the environment, of course, but it definitely helped as a circuit breaker in terms of some of those, more trying times with the kids. I don't know if you've had any like faux pas, but we also, flying to LA with the kids, Danny had some carrots on the plane for the kids, like, nutritious snack. Jack loves eating them. And we forgot about it, landed sort of LAX. And for some reason, they always, notify you, like on a Qantas flight, it was Air New Zealand, and got to sort of the customs area and had like this rank like carrot stub that had been on the ground, on the carpet and everything else. And I just didn't think about it. I just took it off the flight with me, and didn't see the signs for the bins, etc. And this is so like worst case scenario, like worst nightmare realized. And we're in line, and it's how long the line is at LAX in terms of like getting through. It's like 2 hours when you get off that flight. It's just a disaster. Tip there is like if you don't have kids, put earphones in, just watch something or listen to something. But anyway, we get to sort of finally to our guy, and you know how vigilant they are at sort of the border, and like, have you got anything? And I was sort of like, I sort of forgot about it. I'm like, Danny, I can't believe I've forgotten about this thing, and like I should have like thrown it or like eaten it. And I'm like, I've just got this little carrot sub. Can I just put it in your bin right there? And he just point blank goes like, you shouldn't have done that, sir. And like your heart just drops, right? So I'm there, 2 kids, we're so overtired, hardly slept, and waiting in line, and then, you know, a colleague comes over and picks me up and says, walk this way, please. And I'm looking at Danny like, can't fucking believe it. Like, honestly, like, we're going to get sent home. Like, we're going to be away for 3 months, and they're going to send us straight back over this bloody little carrot stub. Anyway, it gets worse. So I'm in this area, like, starting to like, can't believe, like, you know, what have we done? And catastrophizing. And then Danny and the kids were able to come in and sit in the area with me. And Jack needed to go to the toilet, and he just pissed himself, like, you know, on the dirty floor in LAX airport. So you've got that happening. Anyway, we got off with a slap on the wrist, but they made you wait. You know, you had to earn it. And then we get out to bloody, you know, the hire car and try and put the car seats in, and they're just different over there. So it was just such a, like, I think about like traveling with the kids, and that was like the foot we got off to. It was like this comic of errors. So many lessons and learnings for next time.
We this time around usually we would take one twin each and just sit behind each other.
Yeah.
They can't sit next to each other on a plane. It'll be feral.
Yeah.
But this time I had to sit with the boys, and Katie took the baby, and we kind of tag team looking after the baby on the flight. But with older enough kids, a little bit of child melatonin.
Yes.
Just to help make sure they sleep.
Yeah.
Get to sleep at least.
Yes.
Because they're just wild with the screens.
Yeah.
Snacks, pulling out like the Paw Patrol magazines with all the toys on front.
Yeah.
At
buy you an hour.
certain moments just to like.
Yeah.
And one time in a transit, I didn't even know Katie had this. All of a sudden she pulls out like these little toy cars.
Yeah.
And that was it. Great. Half an hour running around the airport with cars.
It's magic, isn't it?
On this flight back from London recently, the boys had just woken up. I'm like, something kind of smells a bit. I'm like, Cass, do you need to go to the toilet? It's like, no, I'm okay. I'm like, okay. Is he just farting? What's going on? And then he's like, oh, I'm a bit wet. I'm like, what do you mean you're wet? He's like, did you spill your water? No, I had an accident. I'm like, oh, all right, let's just go to the toilet. And so take him to the toilet, get in there with him, like, all right, bring the change of clothes, pull his pants off. Massive shit like in his undies. I'm like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah. And you can't hide. It's like you're so exposed. You feel so vulnerable already.
Great. And there's like a line of other mums and dads with their kids waiting for the change. I'm like in there just like in this cramped toilet trying to figure out
tired.
And he doesn't know what he's done. I'm like, when did that happen? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't know?
Yeah. They're those true like fuck my life moments where you're just like there, like in Superbad.
Yeah.
Fuck my life.
Like filthy undies and track pants. I'm like, straight in the bin.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what to do with this.
Rinse and repeat.
Go back to this seat. It just stunk. Like, it was not a vibe.
No, like you are a family man, and I know you've travelled a fair bit, which is amazing to with kids, and hence I wanted to kind of again like litigate that and explore what it's like. But you also ditched the family one time to go and do a like an ice cream course, and for like a week. Whereabouts were you, and what was the rationale behind all this, and how did you convince your wife to let you go and make ice cream for a week while she was overseas with kids?
So it was a couple of years back. We were in Italy.
Yeah.
So after visiting London, we're like, let's go to Italy. We haven't been in ages. Family's Italian, so I wanted to go back and visit. Love gelati ice cream. Always have.
Yep.
When I lived in Sydney, I used to live around the corner from the original Messina shops. And I remember one time, I don't know why, I was in a break from work or something. I was like, I just want to try every flavor. I spent like 3 or 4 weeks just going in every day, just trying every flavor, getting a sip of every flavor. And my housemate thought it was a fucking nut job. And it just
so
kind of went
you
from
weren't
there.
buying it. You weren't actually, you were just like,
I was buying a sip
I
every
thought
day.
you was going to go and get the sample each. I'm like, that would be so.
But so it was always like, bit of a passion for it. Anyway, I'd found out years back about Gelato University in Bologna, in Italy, and this company called Carpigiani that make like the Rolls Royce of ice cream machines.
Right.
They have, how are we going to sell more ice cream machines? Let's teach more people to make ice cream. So they've set up this Gelato University. It's like a 4-week course on campus there, on site, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And they teach you from the beginning all the way to the end, like to become a, gelati maestro. And so when we're going to Italy, we're going to visit Bologna. And I'm like, hey, Katie, this gelato courses, they're basic course, like starting when we're there. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh yeah, maybe it could work. I was like, yeah, maybe it's a 40th present to myself. What do you reckon? At one point I was doubting, like, oh, she's going to really stuff up our holiday. She's like, nah, look, you're turning 40. Like, you've always wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Like, all right.
Yeah.
And so at the time we thought, yeah, this would be fine. We had a friend traveling with us, so easier to kind of help look after the kids.
Yeah.
But this was peak summer. It was like 40 degrees every day in Bologna. And what we didn't realize is there's nothing to do with little kids in Bologna.
Yeah.
Like once you go to the library or something, you're done.
Yeah.
And so I would swan off at 8 a.m, hire a car, get a coffee, off I go, get a little espresso, little pastry, get to the car, go, it's just great vibe.
Yeah. Romantic.
Go and I only did the first week of the course, the basic one. 5 days of learning how to make ice cream, gelati, and it was incredible. And so every now and then Katie's like, oh, the boys want to see what you're doing, because I'd send photos in like the white outfit with the hat, taste testing the ice cream we'd made.
Yeah.
And then every now and then she'd send me a photo of like one of our kids just like laid out on the floor, just having a full meltdown out in the street.
Yeah.
And by the end of the week, she was so off it. She's like, fuck you. The boys are not napping. There's nothing to do with kids. I don't give a shit about, and you didn't even bring any home for us. What the hell?
Yeah.
So it was, she's still off it.
Remember it. Yeah. Yeah.
And every time now the boys like, Dad, can you make ice cream? I'm like, yeah. She's like,
gladly.
Fucking dare.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
It better be good. So was there like a signature like flavor that you came up with, or a concoction that's your favorite, or?
That there was very like introduction, how to make the flavors. So you learn how to make stuff with nuts or fruits or sorbets or granita, all different types. And then you kind of go and explore from there yourself once you take on the next courses or open up a shop. To be clear, I never wanted to open up a shop.
Yes.
I didn't, in my head, I was like, I don't want to be tied to a location, with a physical location with a lease and selling ice cream. There's enough amazing gelato shops in Melbourne. I don't really need to do that.
Yeah.
Ended up opening a bookshop.
Yeah, bookstore. Could be an ice cream window. That could be a business idea.
Yeah, I actually floated that with Katie. I'm like, what do you reckon, like a little corner?
Ice cream nights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little corner thing.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can get that off the ground next summer.
Okay, cool.
Lobby for a little corner.
No, great.
Sublease.
That sounds awesome. And I was curious to know, like we also have a segment sort of feeds back through to sort of travel experiences, adventures, the Merry Moments segment sponsored by the Merry People Oberon boot. It's a great boot, actually. A bit more of a mass kind of look and feel. Is there been a trip that you've gone on, or a memory that you've had from your travels that sticks out as like really fond or a really happy moment?
Let's see. I reckon it's probably more of a time when Katie was living in New York for a few years for work before we got married.
Yep.
And it would have been that period of a few years. We actually did long distance, and I'd spend like 2 months there, a couple of months back here, more or less for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
It's probably that time, because whilst it's equal parts amazing spending time in New York, but it also sucked because I was working Australian hours. And it was sort of the start of Linktree, and the agency was still running at the time. So it was just, I was up till 4 a.m. And so I wasn't really able to properly enjoy it, but also, being there was so electric. And so I'd say it wasn't one trip, it was that time, because every time we were there, Katie and I would take a trip, to Nashville or Montreal or whatever it was. And so,
amazing.
So being able to just be, rather than like go to a city like that for a holiday, it was being able to spend a good amount of time there, get to know people, explore little neighborhoods and stuff. It was awesome fun.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Thanks for sharing. So quick fire, sort of wrapping up. What's your coffee order?
It depends on the moment. I'm one of those guys.
Yeah.
Could be an espresso, could be macchiato, could be an almond latte.
Depends on the sleep you get.
Yeah.
What about what's your best day look like if you sort of like from 9 to 5 or beyond? Brekkie, lunch, dinner, activities.
There's equal parts bit of hanging with the kids and equal parts no hanging with the kids, as we discussed.
No,
so it'd be some gym, it'd be going out with the kids for brekkie to the park, hanging out.
Nice.
It'd probably then maybe take them to my parents, go have a long lunch with Katie.
Lovely. Where would you go?
Ooh, where would we go? We'd probably go to Marion or something, sit outside.
Lovely.
On Gertrude Street.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Or Napier Quarter, actually.
Okay.
Napier
Good calls.
Quarter.
Yep. Good picks.
And then roll on from there. It's what we used to do a lot in New York, just kind of bop around, explore.
Love it.
Dinner, go to a gig, and ideally wake up. The kids are still at my parents' house, go back and get them.
Sounds good. That's eerily similar to mine. And is there anything, I know you're not reading anything probably per se, but is there anything you're watching, listening to, reading right now that's sort of, you're really keen on?
What am I? I'm reading the book this book at the moment, which is
Oh, you are reading. Okay.
I am I'm reading, but it's it's a memoir of a guy called Tom Freston, who was like general manager and one of the early like founding employees of MTV.
Ah,
So I go back to his life before that, which was lived in Afghanistan and India.
Wow.
Got back to New York and got this job at this new network, and then rode that wave. So I'm kind of just getting to the part now where all the fun MTV stuff happens.
Awesome.
Which is pretty interesting. But also music-wise, at the moment I'm just making my running playlist. So it's all just like anthemic pop bangers.
Sick.
Nothing cool in there at all.
But like Nadia Ali in there or anything like that at all? Or?
No, I've got like Miley Cyrus, I've got Robin, I've got Beyonce,
Mate.
I've got Tay Tay, Lizzo, like just
What a scoop.
like just pop hits.
This is great.
Just to like keep the running
Yeah,
going. Kind of any
bangers.
like cool music in there.
No, awesome. Feel good. Well, mate, you've been so generous with your time. I really appreciate it. Thanks to the listeners. Thanks to Mike and Joel. Mike on the mic, Joel on the camera. And we'll see you guys next time. None of your business. Cheers. Thanks, mate.
None of your business. None of your business. None of your business. None of your business.